AP founded the foundation with a dual objective of funding employees of Bank of America who were in need and then funding medical research. It started off with a grant for hemophilia research, but it grew beyond that. He didn't want to limit the foundation to just one particular aspect of research. He really wanted to broaden the whole field of medical research for the benefit of a broader group of people. We have to be able to adapt and adopt. What we know is a very changing environment. We've done more discussion about what other avenues are there for these young people if it isn't going to be postdoctoral research inside an academic setting. Is there another avenue where that can be just as valuable? Medical research is an incremental progressive business that people are in, and they move from one small discovery, or they build on what other people have done, and sometimes they get to an aha moment. I was just talking today to one of our medical panel members whose whole lab has identified a gene that's going to impact Parkinson's, and I said, did you get to that as an aha moment or what? And her response was, well, we had a lot of sort of steady as you go work, and then all of a sudden we began to connect the dots and began to realize that now we can have an aha moment. And the number of people who contribute to this are not just the academics that have academic titles and that are working in labs. I mean, it's the lab technicians, and it's the people who do the everyday groundwork that gets and keeps the labs working. And I think people would be surprised if they saw how much work goes into just maintaining and keeping a lab going, in addition to the scientists who are actually at the bench doing the work. It's furthering knowledge at a very basic level, and it's contributing to the betterment of, I think, mankind at a macro level. But it is also, quite frankly, an economic driver for for a lot of people. A lot of people make their living doing this work inside laboratories. They're not just small little places where somebody's sitting there with a Bunsen burner. They really are large facilities, or many people are impacted by the work that's done in any one lab. The actual interview process I found to be fascinating, and I had never seen a process that was both simple and elegant at the same time and accomplished what it really needed to accomplish. No matter how deep the research is, if somebody cannot communicate what needs to be communicated in 10 minutes in language that isn't necessarily have to be lay language, but language that the medical panel had a clear understanding about, that they were not going to be successful. They really had to be able to ask for what they wanted, explain it, and get that very complex ideas across in a very short period of time. That was enlightening to me. You know, what was interesting was that I did have some idea of where it would go. We didn't have the numbers that we have now, and I didn't have the flexibility to do the kind of research that the staff is doing now to go back and look. But on the panel, on the medical advisory panel, at that time were 2 former Giannini fellows. So actually 3 former Giannini fellows. So I could see that the money that they had received 15 years before had taken them to this point where they were now senior in their departments at 3 different medical schools in the state of California, and had accomplished a lot with their careers, in very different careers. And so I did have some idea that the money was money well spent, and that the purpose of the money, which was to continue to encourage young postdocs to stay in academic medicine at that time, that was a noble purpose, and it was really something that it was worth focusing on and worth spending our time and effort on. But what I see now is that we can represent building a whole new core of young people that are California-based, that are really, that are at the forefront of a variety of academic and research endeavors, and that these people are going to be the leaders of the future. I know that's somewhat overused phrase at times, but they, I think, truly will be people who in the next 15 to 20 years will be the heads of their departments, or will be out in industry doing work that really will contribute to the general good of society in a very, very real way.